What is sexy for the season ahead? Who are the design stars of tomorrow? And what does menswear look like in an era of androgynous style? Today on Video Fashion News, we look to the next generation for answers. Laquan Smith is a rebel with a fashionable cause as he delivers one of New York's sexiest shows of the season.
The inspiration was female rebels. Everything was just really about female form, female sensuality.
In Paris, redemption gets dark and seductive with a heavy metal catwalk that's ready for a night out in the city of light. Vaquera goes back to school and rethinks stereotypes for spring 2019.
We think that offering a larger story is the new luxury, and that's what people actually want.
Plus, talented fashion students from the prestigious Rhode Island School of Design close out New York Fashion Week with an impressive lineup of diverse style.
I love reusing and repurposing items, and also I love Victorian Edwardian clothing, 18th century.
And later, menswear with flair. Head to Madrid for Palomo, Spain's glamorous spring collection. Then check out Houston native Kenneth Nicholson's classical twist on modernity. And more.
I think it was just a collaboration of a lot of things. I'm always about female empowerment. And this season I just wanted to have fun with this. You know, I wanted to do something a little risk-taking. The inspiration was female rebels, female criminals. I just came up with these awesome ideas and this awesome story. Just really wanting to have something fun and different. Those are mugshots. Those are mugshots. I am such a huge fan of John Galliano and sort of his statement, you know, newspaper print. It's sort of a nod to that. It's a nod to that, but sort of my own interpretation. And of course, my amazing collaboration with ASOS. I premiered some of the sunglasses and the denim jeans, you know, the Laquan Smith signature jeans. And then we also did an amazing collaboration with Spray Ground luggage as well, Spray Ground bags. This season was really about the fusion of creating luxury and also obtainable pieces. You know, for me, I think it's really about mixing and matching separates. You know, if the girl can't afford the $995 dress, she can definitely afford, you know, the $200, $300 backpack or denim jeans. So it was really about accessorizing and sort of just introducing it in a new way. So, I mean, I'm really happy about the collection, and I feel really proud about it, yeah. Everything was just really about female form, female sensuality, femininity, female empowerment, just keeping things sexy. I mean, that is just what I stand for, and I want to continue to elevate that and evolve while doing it in a level of sophistication and taste. I was able to get some of my incredible women and muses that I'm totally inspired by, you know, Ducky and Daphne and Winnie. So many incredible talent across the board. I think this just felt like a great season to just be really splashy and have fun.
While a troupe of ballerinas opened his spring show, redemption designer Gabriele Moratti delivered a full-throttle super sexy collection that was far from classical. Rock chic, heavy metal attitude underscored every look on Redemption's latest Paris catwalk. While the always ready-to-party womenswear brand is known for its after-dark palette, this season's all-black runway likewise gave a nod to the state of the world in 2018. Swarovski crystal accents popped on boots, belts, cuffs, and accessories, and added extra glam to micro minis and floor-sweeping gowns alike. The designer played with volume for evening and also gave a nod to YSL's timeless Le Smoking jacket. Redemption is committed to giving back and donates 50% of the brand's net profits to charities including AMFAR, the Foundation for AIDS Research.
We were talking about hope and fear, and we go through continually feeling hope and fear as you do in high school, as you do in real life. This high school motif was kind of a summary for real life and all the emotions and all the cliques and all the groups and all of that.
We offer 3 tiers of garments. We have our really wearable pieces like the t-shirts and the jean. We have a perfectly fitted jean this season. We have the crazy graduation look, and then we also have things in between that we call our statement essentials. We think more about than silhouette is character, and then I think once we have our character, we'll have the silhouette and we'll go from there.
Fan fiction, we always say. We want to subvert luxury, redefine luxury.
People often think that luxury is just something that's really well sewn or really expensive material, and obviously that is desirable, but we think that offering a larger story is the new luxury, and that's what people actually want and I think need.
And how does that look if there are supernatural characters there, and who are the supernatural characters that exist in real high school? Is the mean girl a witch? Everything is for sale. You know, we made a dress out of credit cards a couple seasons ago and sold a couple of those, and fans in Japan are wearing them on the street. It's really cool. to do everything. I think it's important for us to condense the seasons. You know, we're looking at bridal, we're looking at couture, we're looking at menswear, we're looking at women's wear, we're looking at historical costume. It's exciting to do something that could feel quite stale, like a fashion show, but we want to make it exciting again.
A lot of my work is based on my heritage. I'm Mexican American, and I'm also from Chicago, so there's a very large Mexican American community there that not a lot of people know of. My grandmother, she practiced curandera and healing in Mexico, and so when she passed away, I found out I was supposed to be the next one to take on that responsibility. So my collection was a sort of self-education to learn how to decolonize my own mind and body through garment. I use a lot of strange materials, so a lot of the pieces have not just fabric, a lot of woodworking, a lot of organic materials. I have hibiscus and corn husks, so a lot of pieces have a mix and matching of different materials.
Actually driven off of kind of pagan rituals and kind of this idea of like coming back into nature. It's very witchy vibes. I kind of grew up in the woods, so I've always been fascinated by the natural element of things, and then kind of just always been interested in like witches and magic. It's all couture menswear, so very high end. Everything is natural materials, so leather, fur, silks, cottons. Over the summer, I got like a sponsorship program with Saga Furs. So I got to go to Denmark and learn how to work with fur over the summer, so that's incorporated in the collection too.
So my collection is inspired by curtains, so they're made all out of vintage curtains from thrift stores, and I love reusing and repurposing items, and so I was finding these curtains that I thought were kind of going to waste and not being reproduced, and so I thought, why not prolong a life cycle? And it really did come from a material inspiration source. And also I love Victorian Edwardian clothing, 18th century, so a lot of the elements in the pieces have a little bits and pieces of those elements, but I'm not being too in your face about it. Some are kind of clerical, a little bit in reference to religious garments, very subtly. They're all white and red, and there's a little bit of black, just trying to stay true to the material that I was finding. The red comes in with embroidery threads that I've actually pleated through and felted, so they're all felted and there's all manipulations that have happened.
My inspiration was my general interest in different areas of design, so specifically looking at furniture design and apparel design and combining the two together. A bunch of boxy pieces that actually have wooden pieces as the understructure, and I used actual upholstery techniques to kind of illustrate the combination of both fabric and wood together. It's meant to emulate it to some extent, or I can, let the viewer use their imagination as to what they can possibly see it as, if it were to be actually functional, or if not, just something visually that reminisces of both clothing and furniture at the same time.
My latest collection is about Chinese contemporary style. So each look is a surreal twist of some very ordinary everyday looks from Chinese society nowadays. I use all the traditional material like wool for suit and shirting and silk.
I was really inspired by the attraction and repulsion and how you can both be attracted and repulsed by something. So I was inspired by a lot of things that disgusted me or things I was afraid of, and then trying to work with all the negativity and make it something positive and attractive. I'm really interested and drawn to colors and textures, but I'm really disgusted by bodily fluids or intestines, and I basically worked with things that kind of reminded me of mucus or reminded me of fish eyes or reminded me of pig intestines, and I worked with it with colors and textures and beads and everything just to make it satisfying to me visually and emotionally.
It was about love. It was about a fictional love note that I wrote. I entitled the collection Lover from the Bath. I'm a romantic, so it's all about love and stuff. The first chapter is melancholy. It's very white, absence of color, and he's just thinking about the early departure of his lover. Chapter 2 is called Reminiscence, where we see an explosion of youthful stripes and color. And chapter 3, The Funeral, we see dark, rich velvets, all kind of with the underlining of regality. I like to use denims, I like to use velvets, I like embellishments. I think above all my favorite is heavy fabrics, some things that really sculpt around the body to create really nice silhouettes and shapes. The craftsmanship is always very, very important to me. Sometimes I obsess over what goes behind, the label or what particular bias lining to use on the inside. Well, I definitely want to expand the narrative of menswear. I think men need way more options. I always cite the red carpet when I see women in the most gorgeous dresses and silhouettes, and men are always restricted to shirts and pants. I think I want to offer the Kenneth Nicholson man everything. In addition to expanding that narrative, I want to build people up. I want to build men up. I want people to feel good and to feel whole. I always say that if you're cool, you don't really have an age, so I think it's all about the spirit. I think the person they're an explorer of the world as well as themselves. They're a lover. They feel emotion. They live on their own terms in a way, yeah. I am sincere about design, that I care about what I do, that I put my heart into what I do, and I'm a fighter, so I'm here to stay.
For spring 2019, Palomo Spain designer Alejandro Gomez stepped inside an imaginary cabinet of curiosities and celebrated eccentricity and the spirit of 70s glam rock on his Madrid menswear runway. Gomez chose the Spanish capital's Museum of Natural Sciences as the venue for his romance meets rock and roll runway. The museum's flora and fauna displays only heightened the unconventionality of Gomez's designs. The designer's signature poetic drama was apparent for spring-summer 2019. Flourishes of flamenco, flamboyant colors, intricate bead details, and delicate feathers gave the collection theatrical flair. As the global popularity of androgynous dressing grows, Palomo, Spain likewise continues to charm and captivate a larger worldwide audience of fans and clients.
My brand is really all about queer alternative perspectives and transforming menswear. Everything that I do revolves around archetypes within masculine culture that I can subvert or manipulate or transform into something new. The collection is titled Subservient Authorities, so the archetypes revolve around figures of authority for this season. I was thinking about police officers, people in the military, taking those people who we sort of categorize as figures of authority and manipulating their costumes or their utilitarian garments into something that was very ephemeral, very beautiful, very erotic. There was a lot of chainmail that worked its way into the collection that was very labor intensive, and I felt very passionately about making it just because it would grow and grow and grow, and it would become these suits of armor that I felt were really beautiful. There's a chainmail overcoat, this piece right here, that I really love. There was a lot of hand beadwork that ephemeralized all of these different garments as well. That was just intricate placements of things that would transform khakis or dickies or something like that. There were a couple of pants within the collection that were based on the silhouette of men's football pants, but then they're made entirely out of non-stretch taffeta silks. So wherever the fabric would stretch, it starts to tug and tear and cinch in on your body, kind of like corsetry. And I thought there was something interesting about how you could read into that as a commentary around the restrictive nature of masculinity, the restrictive nature of a masculine role or a figure of authority. There were tarp coats that I was making, riffing off this idea of a construction worker trying to transform the objects that they use on a daily basis into a tactile fabric. I think someone who is interested in playing with identity, who's curious about aspects of masculinity and aspects of femininity, can really embody a certain message. But I'm learning so much about the way I design by meeting so many different characters who want to wear the clothing.